what a deal, what a deal. Hey guys, it's Jax, and I've got a problem. There's cows out. There's cows out everywhere. There's cows to the left. There's cows to the right. Another day, another dollar. Wait, another day, a few less dollars. There's a deer in the holler. Hey. Well, we're back at it, aren't we? Wanted to bring you along today for a little adventure. Got a few things we're going to do. As you may have noticed over time, some of you that live in the rural regions can smile and nod in agreement. You can tip your glasses down and give me the old, oh yeah. Whenever you got to go to town, well, let's put it this way. When we go to town's about 20 miles away, 15 miles away. When we got to go to the city is 150 miles away. And the city is where our nearest Walmart is at. It's where any kind of specialty parts that you're going to need for your truck is in the city. Okay, so me and Weedman Weeds are making a quick little blast down to the city for a couple reasons, and this is what I'm getting at. When you live so rural, you kind of got to consolidate all your trips. You call on anyone that you know that might need something that's in your circle. You hit them up and you go, do you need anything in Billings? You need any parts? You call, call Rooster and Blue, call your siblings, any of the close neighbors. You just let them know. We're going to Billings. You need anything? And it can become kind of a common courtesy that, if so-and-so needs something, you pick it up. So today we're going down because I need to pick up an injector for the international cab over with that N14. Troubleshooting some kind of a knock that it has. It's an injector knock. Anyway, so we're going to pick up an injector. We're going to pick up an engine position sensor for good measure. What else are we picking up? We got to pick up 4 tires from the warehouse. Need to pick up some fenders. Need to pick up some seed for my brother. Just stuff like that. We'll probably end up having to swing by the Walmart. There's going to the Walmarts before it's all said and done. Plus, it's one of our rare chances to get to go out and eat. And I don't know about you, Frito, but have you been thinking about where you want to eat? That's another exciting thing. It's like, where are we going to eat? Oh, baby. When I was growing up, we lived 35 miles from the city. Now we live 150 from the city. So, you get a chance to eat outside of your local norms. Anyway, the other thing that we're going to check out is a cow trailer. Let me explain the shortage of cow trailers stuff for me, okay? So last fall, I had one of my guys got blown over in the wind. And so, of course, that forced an insurance sale where, I ended up getting an insurance payout from that. So, taxationally speaking, that trailer was sold. I got a check for it, so that's income for this year. I had another guy come. As you've seen, the used equipment market's pretty hot. Hard to find certain things. I had a guy come and really wanted another one of my trailers that I wasn't super fond of, so I went ahead and sold it to him. And before either of those things happened, I had a trailer that was sitting around forever ago that I was like, I'm going to sell that trailer. So I sold it before I sold these other 2. So I had the first sale, then I had the one that got blown over, and then I had the guy that came out and made an offer on my 3rd trailer. So I ended up selling 3 trailers. And started thinking a little bit that I better get in touch with my accountant and kind of get an idea of where we might be sitting for tax liabilities. When you sell equipment off that has already been depreciated or used fully as a tax write-off, when you sell that piece of equipment, it's counted as income for the year. So you can either accept it as income and pay a massive tax on it, or you can reinvest that money into some other business equipment that you might need. So I am scrambling trying to find some other wise business purchases. I don't like buying things and doing write-offs just for the sake of nothing. I prefer to have it be useful. If you have absolutely no use for it, You know, especially in these tricky times, you may be better off to just pay the tax and sock the money away. But I don't want to do that because I think there's some things that I could use. I am short a cow trailer, I'm short a grain trailer, and I may be short a little more bigger, stronger motorhome for the band. We spent a lot of time in the motorhome this summer, and I've realized how great that is and necessary for our music. And anyway, might to do something there too. But we found a trailer. We looked at one. You remember we looked at one out in Minnesota, and it was not really what I was hoping for. Found another one here in Montana that we're gonna go look at while we're down here getting parts. And it's seen, and you never know until you start looking at it. But the pictures, it looks really, really good, and it's really, really cheap. Which I can't even believe that I'm saying, Weeds, because there's nothing cheap right now. There's no value in anything, anywhere. Everything that's for sale, everybody wants the tip-top dollar. You know, it's so rare that you go along and look at something and go, hey, this is a good deal. There's some value to this. Now let me explain one more thing before we kick it on down the road here. The word value, sometimes it's not misused, but it has a dual meaning. And a lot of times it gets used just in terms of talking about nice things and fancy things. Usually when you read an article about a thief, they mention the thief made away with $7,000 in valuables, right? That's usually when you hear the word valuables, right? So when I'm using the word value, I'm using it with a little different meaning. To buy something that has value, it means you're getting something that's pretty substantial for a price that you deem to be, there's a tire in the road, a price that you deem to be less than substantial. So when I say there's nothing with any value out there right now, there's just a bunch of overpriced, it's good equipment, but it's way overpriced for what it is and what it used to sell for, you know, in the last 2 years. So when I say there's no value out there, I mean it. But when I just come across something where I'm like, if these pictures hold true, there's going to be some value to this. You're going to get something that you feel is legit at a price that you feel is very reasonable. And that creates value, okay? Remember that, Frito. Remember that? Yeah. Well, you guys, we made it here. We've arrived. It's like a 3-hour drive down, but we're here. Here's the rig right outside the window. So kind of what we're looking for, here's just a little deal about this. I've always said a cow trailer is only as good as its floors, okay? So for me personally, as a cow trailer buyer or operator, whatever, my main thing that I'm personally looking for first is the overall condition of the floors. Almost every other part of a cow trailer you can replace, reconstruct, repair, rebuild. Floors are the one thing that you can, but it's so unbelievably expensive that nobody ever does, okay? I think last time I'd heard it's like $40,000 to have new floors put in your trailer if you're gonna have it done. So we just don't. You just go get a different trailer. So for me, that's number one, okay? So we're gonna be looking for floors. The next most expensive thing beyond that would be fifth wheel plate frame assembly issues. Those are pretty expensive. I do have a real good guy that could put one in for me pretty reasonably, as reasonably as you could find, meaning probably a few $1,000s. Gates, of course we're gonna check again for gates, slot, play, but gates, that can all be fixed. This trailer, if the floors are good and the rest is we get it for the right deal, you can afford to put some money into it, okay, and make it work. So those are the things we're going to check out. Let's go and see what's shaking. So we got, this trailer is a Wilson. It's a 2008 title, made in the middle of 2007. Now it seems to be, in my world, a 2007, 8, 9, 10 piece of equipment. To me is fairly newish still. To the rest of the world, people look at a 2008 cow trailer and be like, what a dinosaur. And that's because they haven't actually run a real dinosaur. You know, you saw the boxes that we took off Old Blue. those are the kind of rigs that I grew up with. It was just, this is what it is, and that's what it is, and it works until forever. And so that's the mentality I grew up around. So because of it, I look at something like this and I'm like, hey, this ain't really all that old. But the rest of the trucking world would be like, are you kidding me?
I ain't seen an old trailer like this since '07.
Which is crazy. It's a shame. That's led to a huge demand for cattle trailers right now. The price is way overinflated because all the cattle guys think, I need a new trailer every 3 or 4 years. I don't agree with that, but to each their own. So there's a broken cross member here, which is from like a blowout. And you know, brakes are all looking good. The basic stuff looks good. I do see this here? That would be a bust in the frame. You consider that a broken frame, but probably could be fixed. To look at it a little closer. One other thing, they have these axles that I have never seen before with some kind of a bushing on right there. See that for that pedestal? I don't know what that is. I've never seen that. See here? Some kind of, there's like a U-bolt. I think it's old school underslung suspension is what it is. They've redesigned underslung suspension, which allows the whole trailer to be lowered to the ground. And now that I'm looking at it as we're speaking, I think this was old school underslung. I think is how it used to be when they first designed it or something. They've changed since then and kind of reworked it. I can't tell if that, sorry. Can't tell if this is a result of corrosion. It's almost, I think it's corrosion based, but it's in the exact same shape as the metal. Like I say, everything's fixable. I'll probably take some pictures and send to my guy, see what he thinks about something like that. This trailer, again, also is something that I really am only going to run it for about, 3 to 4 months out of the year. The rest of the year, it's going to be sitting waiting for the cow season to start again. So that's another thing to keep in mind. It's not, can we fix it up in a way that it's safe and functional to run the busy season and then be done. So, yeah. So next would be the box here. This is just a control box for the back axle on this rig, which is a steerable axle. We'll check that out in a second. But I'm just reading, looks like this thing used to have a tire inflation system on it as well, judging by that sticker. Sure that was long ago removed, as the early tire inflators weren't necessarily made to run that long. So. But good tires still. I'm gonna check more of these frame spots and see if there's more of that frame damage or if it's kind of a one spot thing. All right, check this out. So I think what we've discovered here is this is probably the worst one of them all. Just another crack. So of the 3 positions, there's 3 on each side. 2 of the 3 on this side, 2 of the 3 on this passenger side are cracked, and I think was it all 3 on the other side? All 3 on the other side. Varying levels and degrees of crackage. And like I say, it might just be something that can be plated over and rebolted and just be fine, but I don't know. It's a tough call, but anyway, that's just what I'm seeing. I'm not gonna make a decision here. Hey, there's a nail in that tire. We're just looking, just talking as we're looking. Remember me talking about hinges? Definitely shot. Next up would be this guy. You just feel. And here's the thing you gotta understand. They're not hardly asking anything for this trailer. So, I mean, yes, there's a lot of things we've discovered, but it's very, very cheap. So, I'm not gonna be too critical of like, wow, look at this, look at that. It's an older trailer that's, you know. But here's the thing. Here's the bizarre thing. Check this out. Look at this floor. See that? That's some serious good floor, which is bizarre. It's probably because it's hauled a lot of pigs early on in its life, but the floors all throughout the whole trailer that I've seen so far, I'd call this about 50 to 60% floor tread, meaning it's 50 to 60% of what it was when it was brand new. So that's interesting. That's interesting. We'll keep checking some more stuff. Hey, hit me again for the video, please. No, I forgot. If you tell Weeds hit me, he'll hit you. Check out these floors here. This is going into the doghouse. I mean, you guys, this is a 14-year-old trailer, and they're still sharp. The diamond treads are still sharp to the touch. The back side of them, you know, which is cool. Well, let's check the nose. This is a cross gate. You always want to see how your cross gates latch. They fit right in, they're good. You don't want to, if you get a cross gate where you go to shut it, and you gotta really lift up on it to latch it, you can fix that. You just gotta replace it. There's a tube inside of this gate hinge. There's a tube in there. So you gotta basically cut this off. You get a new tube and stick in there. That's how the hinge replacement goes. It's just crazy how, I'm gonna check out this. This is called a escape hatch in case you need to jump out. But I never jump out. Captain always goes down with the ship. Here's another escape hatch. It's just so crazy how good these floors are. I can't believe how nice the floors are in this trailer. So this would be the counterbalance. It's kind of like they counter each other. So that's how you go down underneath. The nose deck is pretty slick, which is not a surprise. I mean, to deal with that, you just put a little extra bedding in here, and it gives the livestock plenty of footing. But let's check the nose floors down here, Fred. Nose floors look good. One thing you'll see here on older trailers, right underneath us is where the fifth wheel subframe is. Okay, so steel against aluminum, and on these older trailers you'll start to get a little bit of corrosion come through the floor. Structurally it doesn't hurt, it doesn't do anything. It just wears a little hole in your floor so it'll leak manure. So you can see here they put some plates over it and they welded them down in the middle, and then they bolted them and sealed it. So that's fine. There's no structural harm there. So counterbalance hinge, oftentimes these three rivets will come loose, and this part of the hinge can get sloppy, but this is nice and tight. Little play in that hinge, but honestly it's surprisingly good. On this side, feels tight. Rivets are, oh, see here, there's a little, see this rivet starting to pop? That's what I was talking about. That's common. Man, I just can't get over the floors. So the next thing to show you would be they call it the bull bar. Don't ask me why. Basically, this side of this trailer unfolds and creates an alleyway here, so that when you're loading this deck, you can get cattle to go up the ramp. So we'll check that out. We'll kind of want to see what shape it's in. I have to move the cameraman out of the corner so we don't squish him. There. And that hooks, now look behind here. See, now there's an alleyway. So when you load them, they'd come from behind the camera. They pull this ramp out, it folds down, and then they go up into the top deck. And you take these little support bars and you hook them over there so when cattle push on this, they don't break this little deal. And it actually, other than the screaming squeaks that you heard, just needs a little lube. I don't think this trailer's been running. I think it's been parked here for quite a while now. So let's finish looking around the outside and wrap this up. So you check it out here. You got a side load door. This is something that's a little different. Side load door where you open these hat latches and this door swings open and you can load the trailer from the side. Now what that's for is on the West Coast, well, not California because this is too big, specifically Oregon and Washington, mostly Oregon. This trailer likely came out of Oregon when it was new. What that's for is some of these places are so tight and small that you can't get a big semi in and flipped around and backed up to a chute. They just bring the chute right out next to the road and you just pull up alongside the chute. And this is what Rooster's old side loader was for. It was for running out in the West, you see. So this trailer's set up the same way. You can load it in the back. And if you check this out up here, you'll see the same thing in the front. They've got a couple side load doors because some places are so tight, you could just pull your truck in was all. You just pull the truck in. If the chute was right here and there was only a few feet past the chute, you'd pull the truck up until this was next to the chute and you'd load all your cattle in from the front and you'd load them up and work them in where they needed to be. So it just made these make the trailer more versatile. In the Midwest, Intermountain West, most places are set up and have huge turnarounds, so these really don't get used. I would imagine the current owner probably has never used these. I have a trailer with these on it. I haven't used it in ever. So that's probably the case for him. And I bet whoever bought this brand new was probably running cattle, or running hogs to Oregon, to some of the hog plants out there, and then likely reloading cattle in Oregon and hauling them out to the Midwest, and then hauling Midwest hogs back to Oregon was probably what was going on with this trailer. So it was set up nice and versatile for that. But yeah, well, what do you say, Weeds? Should we head it out of here?
Yeah.